Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I'm Mike Matthews. We're at Café Anyway somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And did you know just above Café Anyway is this beautiful arch? It's a natural arch that was created over time since last March, and it is amazing, this feat of nature. It's there for you to see and maybe take a picture of. It's amazing. However, not all natural arches,
Mike's Daily Podcast,
rock formation arches, survive, because erosion apparently had something to do
Mike's
with Utah's
Daily
popular double arch
Podcast.
rock formation collapse.
Yeah!
It collapsed, sadly. A beloved and unique geological feature in Utah's Glen Canyon National Recreation Area is no more following the collapse of the double arch sandstone formation. Erosion is a suspected culprit. A hole formed in the 190 million year old sandstone rock situated along Lake Powell. The formation was sometimes referred to as the toilet bowl, also known as the crescent pool, and the hole in the roof. No one was hurt during the collapse at Rock Creek Bay, Utah. It's about 300 miles east of Las Vegas. Wow, I just want to go 300 miles east of Las Vegas these days in this crazy heat. So it is just sad when these things collapse. There was that one in Santa Cruz, the natural bridges, and I thought that collapsed because when I took a picture years ago, a Natural Bridges State Beach. Let's see. It had, say if it mentions, no, it's, oh, I guess the bridge is still there.
And here's today's podcast picture.
It says Natural Bridges State Beach is named for the naturally occurring mudstone bridges that were carved by the Pacific Ocean into cliffs that jutted out into the sea. The arches formed over 1 million years ago when a combination of silt, clay, and diatoms were solidified into a mixture of stone that formed the three original arches of the beach. Wave erosion carved the arches and then cut away the cliffs, leaving only the islands. Of the three original arches, only the middle one remains. And I have a fantastic picture. That's not the podcast picture today, though, but I should post it soon, of this guy right here, the late great Basil the Boxer. He and I, we went to the Natural Bridges Park. Oh gosh, this was like 2018, and just had a great day. It was one of the last times he went there. Yeah, but the podcast picture is actually of another place he used to go to all the time, Fairmont Ridge. I was there recently. Great sunset going on, interesting clouds we've been having lately in this time of the year. Around the Bay Area, you get all this moisture coming in off the ocean because it wants to come in and go towards the hot areas. And the high pressure, low pressure thingy going on. So it thankfully cools off Podcastro Valley. But when it comes in, it makes some beautiful skies. And I got a picture of that. You can see that at mikesdailypodcast.com. Looks like the last arch that fell was in 1980. The middle arch is in danger of collapsing as well due to erosion by wind and waves. Visitors were formerly permitted to climb up, walk, and even drive on the bridges. Now the arch is closed to the public access.
Now that's legit.
It is. I don't know why I thought it had collapsed, but from Wikipedia, apparently it still stands. Okay, so what I have discovered in the past couple of days with all the political news is that Kamala and the new Waltz guy, Tim, they need to start taking more questions, apparently, because Trump is making a note of that because he had his own press conference over there at Mar-a-Lago. And so she She needs to do some more press conferences and not do the whole, hey, just elect me, just vote for me, and once I'm in office, you'll see what kind of president I am. People need to know these things. I don't think the majority of Americans are going to trust her that much. Yes, she's been a vice president the past 4 years, but they want to hear answers to hard questions. So, other things going on. The new formula for deodorant sales. Move beyond the armpit. Yes. Pits, privates, and beyond.
I can't believe. What the hell is this place anyway?
Café Anyway. Okay, so I oversee 5 radio stations in the Bay Area, and let's say most of them are very conservative, and you don't want to be talking about using deodorant for privates on these particular radio stations. So I have had to jump in, as it were, to block these particular commercials from airing on radio stations. It's a whole process. So I've had to do a little bit of have an activist role in my job these days. But yeah, it's been interesting because these are here. You're hearing more and more of these commercials. It's going to become more and more difficult for religious type stations or stations that shy away from mentions of nether regions, that is not a country in Europe where there are little people wearing Dutch shoes. I just call Dutch people little. I know Dutch people that are tall that would knock me down. In fact, there was a guy I know who was originally from the Netherlands, and he was in Washington, D.C., and he gave my friend Colin and I a special behind-the-scenes look at the American Smithsonian. Actually, no, it was the Natural History Smithsonian that they have there in D.C., not a Café Anyway. And, there was some amazing things behind the scenes. They've actually got these old, as we go outside a Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in PodCastro Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Meritoptica, these things that look like caskets. Now, I don't know if these caskets were used, but they were like old type coffins. Hopefully there weren't actual people in there. I don't know. But they had all kinds of weird things like that, and bones of ancient animals, and just some spooky stuff behind the scenes at the American History Smithsonian. But yeah, that guy taught me that the word cookie came from the Dutch, and that we have to thank them when we say the word cookie over here. In England, they call them a biscuit. And what we call a biscuit, they call a muffin or pastry, basically.
Good morning, Mr. Matthews.
Thank you, class. You've learned a lot today. Now you can go home. So yeah, it is the new formula for deodorant sales, talking about the nether regions. Move beyond the armpit. Deodorant prices have spiked to about $6.54, almost $7. Whole body deodorant, Old Spice, is charging $13. And it looks like they're spending it on commercials. Every other commercial I see on YouTube is from them. Oh, speaking of YouTube, you heard Susan Wojcicki. I think that's a Wojcicki. She's the former YouTube CEO. She died at the age of 56. I'm going to be 56 later this year. Gosh, longtime Google executive. It was lung cancer from what I heard. But yeah, she had a very interesting career. And apparently she even taught Sheryl Sandberg a lot. Her husband said, "My beloved wife of 26 years and mother to our 5 children left us today after 2 years of living with non-small cell lung cancer." Oh, terrible. Hate cancer. Who would even like cancer? That's just a statement of, we all hate it, don't we? Gosh.
You ready?
Where's the cure? That's what I want. I'm ready for the cure. Where is the cure for cancer? Let's see, $1 Frosties are happening. Wendy's celebrates their end of summer with a sweet deal now through the middle of next month, the $1 Frosties. Who is making money? Uber's making money. Consumers are willing to pay a premium for the gig economy conveniences they've grown to rely on. In just 10 years, we've become attached. We can't live without it. 5-star quality. Uber shares surged 11% after the ride-hailing and delivery company rolled up with a $1 billion quarterly profit. And their app transactions grew nearly 20% over the past year. 20%. Wow. And their revenue is like up 16%. They expect transactions to rake in more than $40 billion during this quarter. And it's got an advertising business that some are saying is fledgling that will top $1 billion. The days of cheap Uber Eats and Ubers and DoorDashes, that is going bye-bye, sadly. Gig companies have started to raise prices. They know what they got. Just like Netflix knows what they got, and they're cracking down on people with the extra passwords, and they're...
Oh, wow, that's wild.
Wow, that's wild. They are charging like crazy for all kinds of different stuff. Same thing. Costco... Now, when you walk in, you got to, well, soon, they're going to have it so, now they just look at your card and maybe they'll just go, oh, you don't have your card today, that's all right. They'll let it slide if you don't have a Nazi out there. Got to watch out for them. They're everywhere. You just got to watch out for, at doors. Or at soup Nazis? Is that what I'm thinking? Costco Nazis, I guess is what these are. But they can be so strict is what I'm saying. The kinds that don't, the peoples that don't let you, oh, don't you understand? Be a little understanding. Let me in. I forgot my card today. Well, soon you're going to have to scan the card to get in. Actually scan. Now, I don't know how that's going to work. You've seen the entrances to Costco's. There's like billions of people walking in through those doors. It's just a flood of people. How are they going to do it? I don't know.
It's Bison Bentley's. Do you know that?
Hey, this is Bison Bentley, and Mike Matthews has a couple of stories that'll make you want to ask yourself, do you know that? Do you know that?
And for you that are watching this on Facebook, on my Facebook page, this video after the fact, I was just listening to an intro from Bison Bentley. Yes, did you know, Dad? Uber has hiked prices on rides and delivery. Both of those businesses saw double-digit bookings growth last quarter, so they're doing quite well. Let's hear it for the folks over there that like to hang out at stadiums and see concerts, I guess, and sports events. Well, colleges are selling naming rights to stadiums. Pitbull. Wait, is this Pitbull or Pitbill? I got this from Rob Black, and he sometimes misspells words. I'm going to say Pitbull. Famous party anthems will now have his name emblazoned across a stadium. Florida International University sold naming rights to Pitbull for a little over $1 million per year, or $6 million for 5 years. It will have his name on the Florida International University Stadium. Besides the new name, a pit...
Do you have any safe spaces?
Safe spaces?
Yes, where people can go to get away from the colonialist mentality. As long as there's a diversity, equity, and inclusion policy, we'll be fine.
I don't know if there's a safe space at the stadium, but a Pitbull-produced anthem has now been made for the school as part of this deal. And... I guess he will do 12 social posts per year, okay? Pitbull will get to use the stadium 10 days every year. His vodka company will be the stadium's preferred distributor. So this might be the new thing. Like Taylor Swift doesn't even have a practice field. Maybe she'll have a stadium at some point. Get used to branding. The NCAA approved a change in June that allows schools to sell corporate advertisements on football fields for regular season games. And Rob Black, by the way, I produce his podcast, and he is heard on AM 1220 KDOW weekday mornings, and he's on Cron TV Monday through Thursday in the 9 o'clock hour. Look who's here. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How you doing? That's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player tell you what. What? I never knew that about Cookie.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
Why did he want me to put down the mic? I'm not even holding the mic. It just is floating in midair, so I can't put it down. I was going to vote for that guy, but now I'm questioning my intentions. Because he yelled at you? Yeah, why did he yell at me? That was not necessary. That was not needed. No. I hope this is passing for some sort of comedy, because comedy is the genre that is number one in podcasting. Yes, not business, not health, not religion, not sports. Comedy. Yeah, I hope this was real funny for some people. I hope it was real funny, too. Real funny. That's RILL funny. Let's see what else. Oh, speaking of podcasting, fascinating things. Note to self.
Note to self.
iHeartMedia. You can find this podcast on the iHeartMedia app. I am not employed by iHeartMedia. I have never been employed by iHeartMedia. They have a lot of radio stations, but I never worked for any of them. Maybe someday, who knows? But iHeartMedia reported an 8% rise in podcast revenue and a 10% increase in overall digital audio group revenue, contributing to a total revenue for this past quarter, the spring quarter, of $929 million. However, the company had an operating loss of $910 million due to non-cash impairment charges. Those don't sound nice. The executives there expressed optimism for future growth, citing strong momentum in their podcast business and predicting that full-year political revenues will be around 20% higher than the previous presidential election cycle. Oh, yeah. There's lots of money involved in the upcoming elections. Lots of money. And that would be the only thing, as I pour you a wonderful vodka from Pitbull. It's a root beer. It's a Café Anyway root beer from podCastro Valley. Let's brand it. Like Pitbull brands everything, we're going to brand stuff. Enjoy. Yes, but that is the thing, is with all the money that's poured in by the politicians, if you are a media, if you're some kind of media, that's the time to cash in. And Dan Bongino, following the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, he saw a surge in growth. This was in the month that was July, right? The total number of downloads for his show increased by almost 50% as opposed to the previous June. Additionally, raw video views of the podcast on Rumble grew by 51%. Ooh, that's something maybe I should get on. It can be, there's some right-wing extremists on there, but what? Why are you laughing about that? No. They're laughing about me being on Rumble. It'd just be a way to spread the...
Oh, my God, man. Jeez.
Okay, well, just keep it in the back of your mind. Maybe a thought to do that. What is this? Catholic Review Media, in collaboration with the Archdiocese of Baltimore's Office of Hispanic Ministry, has launched a new Spanish-language podcast named Protagonistas de Fe. The program is hosted by Leah Garcia and features interviews with key figures from various fields. It aims to reach out to the Hispanic community both in the U.S. and can be accessed on multiple platforms, including SoundCloud. Does anybody go to SoundCloud anymore? And Apple Podcasts. Oh, and Dan Bongino's podcast rose to the top of the Spotify charts and the Apple podcast. Those are the two big ones. As a podcaster,
Mike Matthews, you not know Mike Matthews.
I am.
Really?
Eminem.
That's true.
We got Eminem.
When you guys say my name like that, I feel
The real
important.
Eminem.
There you go.
I am the real one. If you put the two initials together, I'm the real one with the M and the letter M. The two of them. Okay, what do you think about all that? Hey, here's a phone number to call. Let me throw this phone number at you right now.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
Let me know what y'all think.
Burgermaster.
Oh, it is so hot in Alabama. I used to live in Huntsville, Alabama, and I look at the weather reports from back there, and yikes. And, you know, it's interesting because the people that do the weather reports there are better than the ones, except for this one guy on local Bay Area weather report on the KPIX. This guy on there is amazing. He gets so intricate with all the Bay Area forecasts, and they do this amazing thing on KPIX, where they have the set that they stand on. It's got CGI woven into it, so they're walking around this room with this beautiful, huge view of the Bay Bridge and Treasure Island and Oakland behind it. And they're walking around and they're standing on top of the mountains of the Bay Area. And so they're able to show you how the fog is coming in. It's going to cool off this part. This part's going to be hot. This part's going to be 90 degrees. This part's going to be 60. It's fascinating. I wish I had those kind of graphics on this particular show called... But let me know what you think. Go to our website, check it out, see all the past podcast pictures. And with all that information, we go to the mainframe and hear from A-Frame.
Anarchy! I don't even know what that means, but I love it! Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!
And that was FF episode 2885. To catch all the past podcasts and see the past podcast pictures, you can go to mikesdailypodcast.com.